Joe, you scared me there for a minute. Hey guys. I'm all dancing all by myself this evening. How are you? Welcome to our Wednesday evening space. Anything goes to business. I want to thank our loyal viewers and supporters. You guys are awesome. I hope you're staying safe and healthy out there. Hello to our Instagram family, Frequency 5 FM, Maria and Joseph. Of course, my fam at home, and I'm really looking forward to welcoming. We're having a debut segment tonight, official debut segment. I'm really looking forward to welcoming Michael Busto and Maria Cortez to the Anything Goes to Business family. They're actually going to be joining me remotely momentarily, and I can't wait to talk to them. How are you guys doing? I know that some of you joined me last night. Thank you guys so very much. We had Mike Popovich for our first show of 2021. It was so good. We talked a lot about change. We talked a lot about, moving things forward and taking the necessary steps in our life and just, finding joy and finding peace and however that looks like. And that's a really good segue for tonight's show because Michael Busto has been, he's been on the show already once. He was with me last September, I believe. And then Maria, she joined me a couple months later. I think it was beginning of December, I want to say, here in the studio. And we had some really great conversations. And they've been showing up on social media, sharing their, their voice, sharing their messages of motivation and sharing their messages of entrepreneurship. They both have very, very, fascinating, very compelling stories. They work together, they're partners, and they have a lot to offer with respect to experiences immigrating to Canada, to pursue their dreams and building their family here, of course. And at the same time, they've got experiences, as we all do, and trials and triumphs, relative to being an entrepreneur and starting a company and getting out there and sharing your voice and where to start, right? And I think we've all been there, and some of us are still there, and I think at the same time they're also focusing on helping people financially in providing financial counsel, and who doesn't need that? So they're up to a lot of different things, and again, really, really excited to have them on the show. So just waiting for that. And I also don't have my phone, but again, I want to thank you guys in advance for joining. And you know how we do. If you want to say hi, drop a note, let me know who's on. And if you've got any questions, comments, join the conversation. And if you just want to listen, that's okay too. Thank you so much, Maria. I just got my phone, so really appreciate that as well. I wanted to just see how everybody is doing. Honestly, I have to tell you, just as we wait for Michael and Maria to join, I have to tell you, yet another lockdown, yet another, just when is this gonna just end? I know that a lot of people are, myself included, starting to feel really tired and very, fatigued about everything that's going on. And it's sometimes very difficult to stay motivated and to stay inspired because a lot of our mechanisms and outlets have been taken away from us, But one thing, honestly, I just love about, and I think they're on. I don't see them only because I see the beautiful Frequency 5 FM banner on my phone. Oh, there we go. So at the end of the day, I know that it's really hard when you don't have the usual mechanisms and the usual, outlets to kind of keep things going. But you know what? I admire people that, are doing their Sunday best to get out there, share their voice, on social media. And like I said, Maria and Michael have been kind of doing the rounds, which is amazing. Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you? Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hi, Michael. Hi, Maria. How are you?
Hey, Marilla.
We're
Doing very
good.
well.
How
Doing
you
very
guys
well,
doing?
thank
Now,
you.
I'm not sure. I don't see you on my screen on the show, and maybe it's just an audio thing tonight. I thought it was video too, but I could be wrong. And I'm trying to pretend like I know what I'm doing right now, and being cool as a cucumber, sitting here all by myself. Oh, there we go. Okay, I see you guys. How are you?
Okay, great,
We're
great,
doing
great.
fine, thank
Oh,
you.
good, good. How's everything going? I want to talk to you guys about so many things tonight, and you guys look fabulous as always. First of all, how was
Thank
the
you.
holiday break for you? How was the start of the new year for for you guys? Tell us what you've been up to and how did you take some time off? How was how did from 2020 to 2021 work out for you so far?
We're doing actually pretty well, as we said. We had a very nice break. It was only with family, as you know, pandemia, it's here still.
Yes, yes.
And but it was pretty good. I mean, it was just the girls and us, and New Year's it was the same thing due to the same cost,
Yeah.
but it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
You know what? I'm happy to hear that. Did you guys get a chance to rest a little bit and just kind of reflect? Because the next question is, I know I did a lot of reflecting and I rested a lot. And when I talk about rest, it's not just physical rest. Obviously, it's mental rest, emotional rest. And
Of
I
course.
feel like, I know like going into a new year and kind of going into a new chapter, I know how I feel and I know what I want to get done. Did you guys go through, similar emotions like that where you took some time and kind of looked at 2020 and said, okay, this is what we've done. This is what, we accomplished and this is what we want to do, moving forward. And how did that look like for you guys?
Actually, I kind of did the same. I actually took like basically the whole last week of the year. I'm like, okay, so I need this time. Actually, just before Christmas, because kind of I needed it, right?
Yes.
But not Michael. Michael, it was more like this is the time where I need to work
Yes.
the more because this is we need to have everything done by this time, right? But it
Yes.
was between, when you're in the house, yeah, he was more into the work and I was more into the, the house, the holidays and stuff.
Of course.
It's like partnership, right?
I love it. And I was
Yeah.
just saying earlier,
Okay.
sorry, Michael, and I want you to definitely weigh in on that as well. I was just saying before you guys joined that Michael was on our show back in September, and we had a great, great segment. And then Maria joined me, I believe it was the beginning of December. Again, a really great
December.
segment. Yeah.
Yes.
And I was telling,
Yeah.
everybody at the beginning, just to kind of do a bit of an intro that, you guys you work together. You're a, partnership. You've immigrated to Canada. You are trying to pursue that eternal dream of entrepreneurship and what that looks like. So Michael, to you as well, when you were the end of the year and this is a segue to my next question about I know a lot of people ask me, so I'm going to ask you as well. How do people just start showing up, sharing their voice on social media? So before we get to that, when you were taking the break, hopefully you took a break and you're looking at, your accomplishments of 2020 going into 2021, did you take some downtime? And did you kind of go, okay, this is what I want to get done in the new year? And are you feeling really refreshed and rejuvenated about it?
Yeah, I think last year I said something and I said, last next year um I'm not gonna stop in this time because I know that everyone, in December they slow down,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I really learned from a mentor is that you always need to do the opposite of what normal people do, right? So if people is slowing down, okay, why you should be slowing down as well? So I was talking with Maria because I was saying, hey, don't stop. Let me continue working. Let's work. Let's work. Let's analyze the goals. Let's review our year. So let's do something, so we don't stop the momentum, right?
Right.
Because most of the people, when they get the momentum, they don't know how to keep it up, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that happened to us when we started this business. We had a lot of great momentum, and we didn't know at the time how to keep it up, right? So, you do and you make mistakes and you learn, and then you try again. and that's an entrepreneur's life, right? So I think that taking some time off is very I do take some time off, right? I try to enjoy the little moments,
Yeah.
try to go for a ride, try to, go out for a walk and, try to connect with nature and, clear my mind because it is very important, right? We have to slow down at
Yeah.
some point,
Hmm.
I call it my buffer day, right? Where
Yes.
I, take care of myself. I do something that I like, right? Um, and so yeah, it is very important. It's very important to take a day off so you can energize again
Yeah.
Recharge.
and recharge, right?
And I'm glad you said that too. So I guess a couple of points. I guess I'm not very normal then because I am the opposite. I really am the opposite, and I think that's just it's ingrained in me from a long time ago. But I want to answer that by saying that I. December, I didn't stop either, but I did stop around like the third week of December, and I knew that I needed a break. Like I just needed a complete break to enjoy the holidays, to enjoy. Not that I don't enjoy family. I mean, every day we have to enjoy family, and we do. It's important. It's a priority, but to really like rejuvenate the brain, especially when you work in a creative space, you can't just be magical 20 hours a day. You have to take that
No,
Oh,
time.
no, definitely.
How it is, and so I did take that break as well. But I think, like you said, it's very important to keep ourselves honest and know that we're not machines and that we do have to
yeah,
pause sometimes. But when it comes to following the grain, and when I've always been a rebel like that as well. It's like, oh, everybody else is slowing down, I'm gonna keep going, and then I kind of make my own schedule and kind of work to what makes me happy and what serves me in terms of my how do I say it, my overall health. And it's interesting too because our guest tomorrow night, and I'm gonna update everybody later on upcoming segments, Jermelyn Barnes, who's a dear friend of mine, she talked to me today because we were just doing a little bit of a tomorrow night you're on, and she was our first guest in 2020, and now she's coming back to be our first guest in 2021. And she said something very important, and she said we have to spend time, maybe even more time, regarding ourselves versus disregarding ourselves, right? You know what I mean? So that kind of is a segue for the next thing that I want to talk to you guys about, which is you guys came to Canada, and you both had different jobs and different occupations, and then all of a sudden you decide, collectively or individually, and then collectively, let's build a dream, right? Let's put together a plan to become entrepreneurs and do your thing. I have a lot of people who ask me, I don't know how to just show up on social media. I don't know where to start. I don't know what I have to say. I don't know who would want to hear what I have to say. I don't know. I don't know. And so, of course, I give them hopefully some advice that helps and some, tips that help. Where I'm going with this is, Michael, you and I became Facebook friends, and then as an extension, Maria, you and I became Facebook friends, and Michael was doing
That's right.
video and just showing up and starting to share messages and motivation, and here you were, how, for everyone
yes.
that hasn't started yet and wants to, or isn't sure that they're on the right path, what advice do you have? Because you just showed up one day and you've been
Yeah.
remaining pretty consistent with your messaging.
Yes.
That's right. I mean, I was one of them. I didn't know what to say. I don't know what to put. I don't know how to address this thing, especially because after the pandemic, when I started, the pandemic wasn't here, wasn't even close, right? So,
Right.
right after, it's like a new era for me, right? So now it's like everything has to be done online. So it was a little bit of a challenge for me. It still
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's still doable. It's just something new that you have to learn and you have to address and embrace it, and just something new to learn, right? So, but as for Michael,
Yeah, I think one of the things that made me, one day to show up on Facebook was the burning desire that I have
Mm-hmm.
to win in life. Okay, to be somebody, to share what I know and share the opportunities that I have, and you know, knowing that my first language is Spanish, and then going into Facebook, doing videos and talking to the camera was something new for me, right? I always been shy all my life, and so I think this is kind of a process, right? This is a
Yes.
journey.
Yes.
Um, this didn't start like just one day and I said, I'm gonna show up and do this and say this. No, it's a process. It's a process where you start like realizing things about your life, realizing where you are at the moment, and you start setting up goals, and so after that you have new thoughts in your mind,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
those thoughts create new feelings, and feelings create actions, right? And actions. So I think it's a process. It's very interesting how our brains works. So
I love
it is
that.
very
I,
challenging, but
we're gonna and we're
yeah,
gonna get into
it is
the
very
we're
challenging.
gonna get into the good and the bad in a bit, for sure. But I
Okay.
love what you just said there, and I'm sorry to interrupt you because I'm only going to forget it. You said that certain feelings bring about certain actions, and I love that because you were
Yes.
talking about having this burning desire, and you guys are wonderful together, and I love what you guys represent, and it's just really really nice to see. And so when you talk about like a burning desire to get something done, to leave a legacy, and that's what you guys represent, building a legacy, right? Which I love,
Yes.
and that
Building a
is what
that's right.
legacy.
that's
Yes.
what it's always all about. Like, if we're not doing it to build and leave a legacy, why are we doing anything? I always say, right? So when you talk about
Yeah.
certain feelings bringing on certain actions, absolutely 100%. Again, guys, I want to thank everyone for joining. Of course, I was watching from my own page versus the show page, and I did this last night as well. So I was like seeing no comments, and I'm like, let me go check the show page and see what's going on. I just want to say hi to a few folks here.
Sure.
Ingrid Perez, thank you. Doris, thank you so much for joining. Doris says good evening. Arturo, always tuning in. Thank you so much. He says hi guys, good night. How are you? Ingrid says great couple and good program. Thank you again so much for tuning in.
Thank you,
Lovely
guys.
Arlette and future guest of our Thursday night space. She says good evening. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lovely. How are you? Walter's on. He's watching. Thank you guys. Again, if you've just tuned in, you are here, our Wednesday evening space. Anything goes to business with me, host and creator Morella Scalise, and my new segment co-host tonight, Michael Busto and Maria Cortez. And we're doing an official debut, even though both of you have been on the show. But you know what? I wanted to do a little bit of a pomp and circumstance when you guys showed up here together, which is amazing. So guys, thank you so much. We
Yes.
just got back into it this week after a bit of a break, and I want everybody to look out for these two because you guys are making some really great moves. You're making some real impacts, and I do believe it's baby steps, right? A little bit at a time, and you're going to start to
That's
see
right.
some
Yes.
fundamental rewards from that. I'm we're going to explore your story and your history, and kind of over the course of the next few segments as you guys come on the show. We're going to talk about, I mean, I know both of you were really great about when you came to Canada and your experiences, and having different occupations, and now where you are now. And every week we have similar viewers, our regular viewers, but we also have new viewers as well. And I know that a lot of people would hold value in learning about your stories, and the challenges that you've had, the risks that you guys have taken, but of course also the triumphs, because there's going to be rewards as well, right? So guys, again, if you're just tuning in, Michael and Maria, they have a lot of knowledge and can help, and with a lot of value around, if someone is thinking about immigrating to Canada or has recently immigrated to Canada, what does that look like? Because there's always so much that you have to be prepared for, that you have to know that you, and it can be very overwhelming. Michael and Maria have both done it. And of course, there's the entrepreneurship and startup side where they have started up a little bit of a legacy where they're moving things forward and working to help other people. And then the third element of that is that they operate in the financial services space. So they're helping with all kinds of, insurance and financial and all of that good stuff. So there's just a lot that you guys have, I think, done and experienced in a very, very short period of time. So on that note, again, for anybody that's thinking about, starting up an entrepreneurship, someone who's maybe started 6 months ago and given up already and feeling like they're failing because maybe they haven't hit a certain benchmark that they put on themselves, right? Or someone that's maybe been doing it for a few years and still not sure if they want to do it, right? Can you guys talk to us about your experiences in terms of, yeah, like some of the challenges, of course, and some of the discomforting things that nobody ever wants to talk about, and how you kind of dealt with those things, and then also the rewards that come out of doing what you guys are doing right now.
Yeah, as I was saying, when you start something new, there are a lot of things that you don't know, and you feel uncomfortable, and you feel uncertain about what is going on, and we have these things in our mindset, what is gonna, what is people gonna think about me, or I'm saying the right thing,
Yeah. Yeah.
those thoughts are start like growing in our mindset. So for those people that they want to start something or they are in something and you know sorry and they don't know what to do, they are afraid of making a moves, you have to personally deep down in yourself and think about what do you want to be, okay? Who do you want to become,
Mm-hmm.
and what
Mm-hmm.
is important for you? I think you need to have a purpose to do something
Mm-hmm.
and become successful, right? So you can be successful and not knowing what is important for you, or what is going to be the business plan,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
One of the things, the mistakes that we made, we didn't have a specific plan, written plan, okay, when we started, right? So as we go, as we learn, and we didn't have that plan, that specific written plan, to be able to accomplish every step of the business, right? So that's one of the things that we are implementing. We're implementing the system which allow us to, do this baby little step one at a time,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So, and other thing for people that is starting, um, is just, just show up, okay?
Yes.
Be you, be yourself, be honest, okay? Don't think about what others are gonna think about you, because no one cares, okay? No one is gonna pay your bills. No
Yeah.
one is gonna do anything for you but you,
Right.
right?
Right.
So if we put those, those thoughts in our mindset, and empowering thoughts, okay? That I'm all about. I'm all about empowering people and empowering thoughts, because when we grow up, we had a lot of limiting beliefs, right? And I think that that is very key when you start a business, those limiting beliefs, and so you have to identify them
Yeah.
and start changing them
Wow.
little by little, step by step, baby steps.
Yeah, and
And
sorry, I was just gonna say, you've hit some very key points, Michael, and I want you to continue, and then for sure, Maria, I want you to weigh in on this. I can't stress enough, and anybody that knows me knows, that I 100, 1000% agree with what you've just said, right? There's a few nuggets in what you've just said. Number one, there's always that sense that we're not good enough. We are not going to make everybody happy. What are people going to think about our message, or what we're saying, or what we're doing, or is it going to be good enough? Like there's that self-doubt, and then there's also that trying to make everybody happy and caring too much about how we might portray ourselves, right? Online and in the real
Yeah.
world. And you guys know that one of my mantras is to bring authentic brands to life. And that is an absolute fact, because our brand is us. We're the brand, right? And so we show up as real as we are ourselves, and we care, and it resonates through everything that we're doing. Then you know what, nothing can stop us, because we're being true to ourselves. We're not trying to be anybody else, we're being ourselves, right? So I think that is 100% right. I think that a lot of people still have a bit of stigma attached to what are people thinking? How am I going to look? How am I going to be portrayed? For example, I was talking with somebody a few days ago, and they wanted to come on the show, and a great topic, for conversation. And they said to me, but I work for, a ABC company, and I'm just afraid that they're not going to, it's going to, like, assuming they even catch the show or even know that I'm on the show, I don't know that I can be as open as I want to be. And again, the rebel inside is saying, you got to be true to yourself, because, but I understand companies paying you, and if they don't agree with your feelings or your opinions, so they were afraid of sort of like, some ramification there, which is unfortunate, because I feel like we really need to liberate ourselves and express ourselves accordingly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on that
Yes.
note, yes, continue, please.
Yes, I want to add something to that because this is very personal, and we realize this. Okay, at the beginning, we thought that our opportunity, our knowledge was good forever. Okay, and
We were so excited.
yeah, we were so excited, we were so happy, but then we realized that not everybody is ready for an opportunity. Okay,
Right.
not everybody is ready to take control of their
Or offer.
finances and of their life,
Yes.
and not everybody is motivated. Okay, and not everybody is uncomfortable with the lifestyle or with the life. Okay, so
Yes. Right.
that was big hit for us
Mm.
because we felt frustrated at the time, and now it's like we don't have that backpack in our back because we found out that we need to find the right people, right? And if we find the right people, we can share the knowledge, we can help them, but not everybody is ready for us, right? So
Right.
that's one of the main things that 2020, and continue talking about the people that they are starting something, or they want to show up on Facebook, but they don't know how, or they thinking about other people. Okay, this takes self-improvement as well. This
Hmm.
takes to start maybe reading or watching motivational videos or
Mm.
motivational speakers, and this takes some work from you, from your part. Okay, if you want to be someone different in your life, if you want to accomplish something, you can be the same person as you are right now.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
and that's a big transformation that needs to happen for
Yes.
someone to
Yes.
be successful at anything. Okay,
Yeah.
and in order to be to accomplish different things, you need to transform yourself into a different person, a better person, and it takes time. Okay, it's a process. And but you were saying about the rewards. What are the rewards? What about the rewards?
Hmm.
Well, I always thought, if I can read a book and I can learn something and I can pass it on to Maria or my family or someone else and become better and add value to others, how much value can I add to the world, right?
Right.
I think that the answer is
Never work.
very, obvious, right? You can never give too much value to others, right? So the rewards are great. I feel amazing when we post something and we receive good feedback,
Right.
and when people support us, it's amazing. And if we can, feel that we are helping someone, at least one person, I feel happy about it.
Right.
So I think that we are in the right track, okay? And we are so happy, we are prepared, we are willing to help. So for those people that want to start something, just start it, okay? Don't think too much. If you wanna go into Facebook, press the record button in your
And start.
in your phone and start filming yourself. Start adding value. The thing is add value, right?
Right. Right. Yeah, like the first day, I don't know when it was, the first time I was like, "Oh, look at this live button over here on Facebook. What is that?" It was like, I'll
Yeah.
just try
And
it.
then you were.
Let's just
And
try
then
it.
now,
Yeah, it was like let's just try it. And I'm always like a very curious, very inquisitive person, and I'm always testing and challenging myself as well, which I think is part and parcel, to what we're talking about. Again, you said some really really important points, and I want to get back to them for sure.
okay.
Give me a minute. Meanwhile, I just want to say hi to a few more folks. Again, guys, thank you so much for everybody that's tuned in tonight. I am here solo, but I'm not here solo because Michael Busto and Maria Cortez are with me. They're joining me remotely. I want to take a moment to mention our sponsors. We've got Mike Popovich, Phoenix Internal Arts Academy. He is a life path and energy guide. He was actually on the show with me last night. Fantastic, fantastic episode. Also, career coach Joseph Stetter of the Celebrate Group. Of course, health and fitness guru Travis Edwards of House of Sweat. And of course, Michael and Maria and the Financial Services Group. I appreciate you guys all. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in tonight. Really appreciate it immensely. I want to say hi to Heather Linus Lindsay, who's on. She says, good evening. Hi, lovely. Thank you so much for tuning in. How are you? I hope all is well. We've got Marks Rodman watching. We've got Amelia. I hope I pronounced it correctly. She says, excellent. We've got Tony Garcia joining. We've got Sid Singh watching. Thank you so much, Sid. And thank you so much for sharing the post today. Really appreciate that. Julio Cabrera, I think it is watching. Also, Sid says personal development is key. 100%. Personal development is so important. And we talked about this even last night. And Michael and Maria, I've talked to you about this as well, that, I often say about staying true to ourselves. I have friends, people in my life, not many of them that are so obvious, but sometimes what happens is people lie to themselves about where they're at with their just where they're at personally in their life, where they're at professionally in their life. But you know what? They're only fooling themselves. And because I know them so well, I can speak to them like this and I can say, look, you can lie to me all you want, but lying to yourself is the worst thing you could possibly do. Because when you try to fool yourself into kind of setting up a scenario that doesn't exist, almost like creating a happy world that's not really there, it's not sustainable. It's not going to last for too long. So I believe that putting in the work and developing personally, I think will then gravitate into professional opportunities and, vice versa. So thanks, Sid, for saying that. I totally agree. And we've got Jay Richardson watching. Again, you guys, thank you so very much for tuning in tonight on the Anything Goes to Business show. Michael and Maria, based on what we've discussed so far and what you talked about, I like what you said about just start, and the message of motivation and inspiration, Was there a time where you guys kind of doubted yourselves and were thinking, you know what, I don't know that we can do this. I don't know what people are going to. I know you said that some people aren't ready for you, and that's totally fair because not everyone's going to be in the same position or at the same point in their life to be ready for anything at any given time. You know what I mean? We hope that we're helping people and hopefully that we're making a difference, however that looks, right? But at any time, were you guys thinking like, I don't know if we can do this, or maybe this is not the right time, we should wait? Was there any of that going on, or was it always like, you know what, things may not go as planned right now, but we're ready, we're going to take this and we're going to go with it? How does that look like for you?
Well, it was actually like that. We did have this doubting for, especially at the beginning, right? And especially when we were so excited, um, bringing all this knowledge that we had and trying to help people when people starting to basically shutting us down. It was kind of like, maybe I'm not good at this, or maybe this is not for me. Maybe it's not good enough. Because sometimes you do think that the people that might support you more, the best, because they're friends, family, etc., they will, support you best, right? So those are the people that unfortunately sometimes brings you down, right?
Yeah.
And that's when you start doubting yourself. You don't know, is this good for me? Because I did. It was really hard for me. It was like, maybe this is not for me. Maybe I'm not. But then, as I was reading and self-developing and all these things, then I've learned to myself, I'm good at what I'm doing. Maybe I'm just not with the right people
Yes.
as of now.
Right.
But I have to continue because I will be better. At some point, I am going to be a lot better. And this is coming. And this is gonna work for me because this is what I want. Right? So,
I love
I
it.
stopped doubting myself because I know I have the knowledge, right?
Yeah, I
So,
love
I
it.
just keep working at it.
Oh my God, that was so good. It was like you're ready for the podium and a microphone and just go and speak
That's
to
it.
like the masses of people. You know what? I gotta thank you so much for saying what you just said. I know that I know a lot of people will appreciate what you've just said and being able to admit it. You said something very fundamental, which is it's not that you don't know, that you're not good at what you're doing. Maybe you weren't in the right sort of company space. You weren't targeting the right people. Maybe the people just didn't really
That's right.
appreciate or ready
Yes.
for what you have to offer. It doesn't mean that you're not good. I'll give you a brief example. Anyone that knows me knows that I've had decades long corporate career. Okay. And I've always been very open and honest. 80% was fabulous. And I'm very proud of it. And then there's always that 15-20%. You've got your pitfalls. You've got your trials and tribulations. I've worked for, companies that are 10, 20, 30,000 people. Like there's going to be some entanglement somewhere. Do you know what I mean? And
Of course,
and not
yes,
everyone's going to be
definitely.
your cup of tea and vice versa, And the thing is, I've always, my family always taught me to be respectful and I could be firm and be an effective communicator, but still be respectful, even if it means delivering, a message that the other, party may not be willing to accept. But I've always stayed true to myself, and I'm always there for the greater good. If somebody wants to disagree, whatever the reason, may be, that's fine. Anyway, fast forward to me walking away, from the corporate space, and I took some time off, and I've been very open about this. I really needed to take some time off. And before I kind of started doing my own thing, I was like, you know what? Because I've been doing this for so long, working in the corporate world for so long, maybe I need to get back in there. Maybe I get out of corporate retirement. I was, corporately retired for like 12 months, 18 months. I remember, going into like opportunities, I know I can do this job. I've done it. I've done it for 30 years. I know. And sometimes, like you're being rejected because no one's even getting back to you. It's not even like they're saying you
That's right.
can't do this. Nobody's getting back to you. They're
Yeah.
not even seeing your resume. But of course,
Yeah.
I had a few people that I knew, right? Recruiters and others, and they'd be like, Marilla, you'd be great for this. You'd be great for this. What do you think? At that point, you get some inside information as to what's going on. But one time I'll never forget, I remember going for this opportunity, and there was like 4 or 5 meetings later, I didn't end up getting the role. I wanted the role. I loved the role. I was one of 2 people, right? And the other person got the job. Now, yeah, I had a little bit of a pity party there for about a day and a half, and I'm just feeling dejected and kind of demotivated and feeling a little sorry for
I
myself. And I'm
know.
like, how could this happen? Are you kidding me? Like, I'm good. This is what I'm feeling. Like, I could do this, right? Anyway,
That's
fast
right. Yeah,
forward.
we've been there.
Right? Fast forward,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
and
been
I
there.
got a call from the chief operating officer of the company. And I was so grateful that he called me like weeks later and wanted to stay in touch with me. You know what he said to me? He goes, Marilla, he goes, I'm going to tell you something. You didn't get the job because we couldn't afford you. That's what he told me. And that made me feel so good. I was like, oh, okay.
Of
Like,
course.
do you know what I mean? Okay. You see my value. So this is what I got from it. They saw my value. They saw that I was worth my value. They saw that I could do the job, but the budget wasn't there. And they went with someone that they thought, maybe had a little bit less experience or not, but was going to save them some money. Look, I got all kinds of opinions about that. But the point is, I was so grateful for the honesty, and it made me feel so good. I'm like, okay, that I can handle. I'm good with that. Because sometimes we don't
That's
know.
right.
We don't know
Yes.
the reasons that people are not
No, that's true.
gravitating to us, right? So I appreciate that you talked about self-doubt. How do you guys feel now? So you've been doing this for what, about a year or two, I would say?
Yeah. two
About that,
years.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about 2 years, but we've been preparing really
Yes.
because the very first year and a half, it's more like a get yourself to that point, to that
Yeah.
level that you need to be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it took us a little while, and then, but yeah, it's about 2 years now, and now we're actually feeling really, really. We are so ready, way better than before. I mean, ever since we started, we know we're ready, right? But with time, it's like more because as time passes, you learn more and you keep learning and you keep learning. You think you already know so much, but no, you will always learn something new, right? So you will get yourself more prepared for whatever
You're doing.
topic is there.
Yeah.
I love that. And this is
And
going to sound like a
and
job interview, but and I apologize in advance, but if you what's the one thing, that you accomplished this year that when, the end of the year comes again, and let's hope this pandemic is lifted, fingers crossed, okay? Is lifted, but it's December 31st, January 1st, 2022. What's the one thing that you could say, okay, it was a good year because I accomplished this? What's the this for you guys, would you say at this point?
For me, this would be on an Instagram, all kind of media, because I was actually really, really, really very, what's the
afraid
word?
of.
Afraid, not so afraid. I was like a little bit intimidated by it because this is very something new for me. I was like very trying to avoid everything online, right?
Yes,
But things
yes.
happen, and for me, this is very, very something, very, very, very something that I'm embracing. I'm starting to love it, right? Because you gotta love in order to keep going,
Yes,
right?
and not be
So
afraid,
it
right?
was really hard to start. It was really, really hard, but I got
Oh,
it. So
you're
now
doing
it's
so
like
good.
yeah,
You're doing
less
so good.
nervousness.
Yeah. I love the
It's just
messages. I
getting
love the
better, I
photos.
guess.
Yeah, it's great. No, no, no. Keep going. Honestly, like keep going. People are seeing it, Maria. People are getting to know you, and you're very passionate and you're very compassionate. And that is I think one of the
Yes.
important traits of being true to what we're trying to do. I can't stress this enough, and I appreciate that you're saying that too, that you were afraid and that you were intimidated by it, because aren't we intimidated by what we don't know, right? It's kind of like fear of the
That's right.
unknown, right?
Yes.
But look at you now.
Yes, that's
Look at
right.
you now. I think it's,
Yes.
and Michael, same
But I
question.
do have the support of my daughters and my partner here. So it's like, yeah, I can do it.
Amazing.
If they can do it,
Oh,
I can do it too, right? So yes,
amazing.
that was
No,
one of the things that I needed to do to achieve to yeah. So
I'm so
of
glad.
course by the end of the year I am gonna be a lot better, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
So,
a
and
lot can
in terms
happen in
of
a year. Yeah.
yeah, in terms of personal goals, we can say that we both have personal different goals. And when it comes to the business, yeah, we have similar goals because we want to accomplish the same things,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I think that is very important. And being a couple,
Yes.
having goals, personal goals, and
Ownership.
having business goals, right?
Yes.
And when it comes to business, we want to, become brokers by the end of the year. And I think we're gonna make it before of that. And that's one of the big goals that
That we have.
we have been like dreaming of since we started, right? So become a broker and hit those six figures income. That
Yeah.
would be very nice to accomplish this year, and I know that it's gonna happen. I
Is
have
happening.
no doubt that
Perfect.
it's gonna happen,
I
right?
love that. I love
And
is
talking
happening.
about
It's
yeah,
happening.
it's happening, right?
It's so good.
And when you feel that, when you can like, feel it inside you
Yeah.
because you are so confident of
Yes.
what you're doing. And I think that confidence is related with knowledge, right?
Yes.
And Maria was talking about she didn't know how to do it or what to do, and little by little she started to understand how social media works and how these different programs work, and so her level of confidence is going up, right?
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so when you learn something or you feel better about you, even if you like start working out and you start seeing little results, your confidence is like
Boost.
boost, right?
Yeah.
And it's going like crazy to the top, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
confidence in this kind of business and in social media is one of the main fundamentals for everybody, right? If you don't feel confidence with yourself and you are selling something, you are selling an idea, you can sell sold on, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not confident about what you do, if you're not passionate about what you do, right, people is not gonna take you seriously, right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Serious.
Yes. That's
So
very true.
I think that it's a process. Yeah, it's a process, and I want to touch a little bit about the things that you were saying about goals because most people, what they do at the beginning of the year, they set up some goals, right? We all do that, okay? But we made some of the mistakes that most people made, okay? We set up
High.
outcome goals, okay? But if you think about it, if you set up outcome goal, for example, let's hit six figures income by the end of the year, right? That's great. That's very clear goal, right? You can accomplish it, but if you don't have a daily goal,
And
a
you want to
weekly
complete.
and a monthly goal, right? That will help you to reach
Mhm.
that goal, that final goal, is not going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that we learned
Mhm.
in the beginning of the year. So I think was the right time to learn that
Yes.
little concept because it doesn't matter if you put a goal, right? You need to plan it. You need to break it down and do
And put a
these
date.
daily activities towards it,
Yes.
right?
Mhm.
And I think that you
Yes.
can agree on that, Marilla.
daily activities, and I have to agree with that. It's not something that you just kind of snap your fingers and wave the magic wand and it just appears, right?
Yes.
And it just happens.
That's right.
I gotta say,
Mhm.
we're just in the interest of time, you guys, because I mean, we did start 5 minutes late, so we got a few minutes here, but an hour goes by so fast on our show because we
Oh
always have
That's
yeah.
so
right.
much
Yeah.
amazing stuff to talk about. So I want to do a quick recap, you guys. Again, Michael Busto and Maria Cortez just joined tonight, and they're going to be back in 2 weeks on January 27th, and they're going to be with the Anything Goes to Business family, well, for a few months, but they're always part of the family regardless. And we're going to uncover a lot more about their story, about their experiences, and they're going to, kind of keep us up to date on their own progress and some of the things that they've been working on. Because again, it's not just about, financial freedom, which sounds wonderful, by the way, but it's also about,
Yes.
like we talked about tonight, starting, where to start, how to continue, building that momentum, keep it going, not giving up. And then, of course, both of you, new to Canada. Well, Michael's been here 3 years. Maria, I believe, was here before that. But the point is,
About 27.
yeah,
Yeah.
like 27 years, but she was a very young girl, comes to Canada, new country by herself with a dream, and it's amazing. It's really amazing. So we're going to stay, on top of everything that you guys are doing, and we want you to keep communicating with us. And these show platforms are so good because I know you can help so many people. So on that note, Maria and Michael can be found on LinkedIn. They can be found on Instagram. They can be found on Facebook. Of course, connect with them. And you know what? Even have a conversation, a half hour. Find out what they do. See what, if you have any
Yes.
thoughts, advice that you need, just to even share some stories and experiences, because let's face it, we all had to start somewhere, didn't we? I mean, all of us, right? And
That's right.
so,
Yes.
really
That's
looking
right. Yeah.
forward to continuing this, moving it forward. And then, of course, as we continue this as well, we haven't started planning, you guys, but I do want to mention that somewhere around end of February, a date hasn't been chosen yet, but as we've been promoting the events side of Anything Goes, even though these shows are events, entertainment some days, we are going to be doing some online workshops and webinars covering every topic that we cover on our shows, whether it be, myself going to be doing a social media workshop that a few folks have been asking me about. So I'm like, sure, let's do it. And then I'm going to also be doing these with my co-hosts, and Maria and Michael and I have been talking about this. So around the end of February, we want to bring an online workshop that's going to talk about a lot of tools and value added, mechanisms around starting up entrepreneurships, excuse me, everything to do with financial services, the things that you need to do. There's going to be probably 2 or 3 kind of main themes. So stay tuned for the promotions on that. Sign up, it'll be probably an hour and a half to 2 hours. And at the end of the day, I promise you will learn something. We're always learning something, even the folks that are bringing out the
All the
information
time.
to people, right? So stay
That's right.
tuned. Stay tuned for that. We've got lots going on. It's the beginning of the year, and yes, definitely. With the lockdowns and everything, sure. It's preventing us from doing a lot of the things that we're used to doing before. But as Michael and Maria said earlier, it doesn't mean that we can't try and learn new things and pivot to different ways of reaching people and trying to help impact people's lives. So on that note, Michael and Maria, what are your final thoughts for this evening and moving it forward?
Our final thoughts, as you were saying, you know, just let's have a conversation. Let's have a talk, okay, over Zoom, right? That's the way that we met, right? I sent it
Yeah.
a messenger request, I think, and we connect through Facebook, right? And we
Yeah,
started talking, and then we jump on in a Zoom call,
yeah,
and then we start like, becoming closer and sharing uh, stories and things like that.
yeah,
So I think that. in these days of pandemic and COVID and restrictions and lockdown, it is very important to keep connected.
That's right.
So for you guys that are trying, to learn something or, ask for advice or anything, just reach out to us, Maria or me. We love to connect with you. We love to give you advice. We love to share our story. And if we can help you, why not? And if you can help us, that would be awesome as well. So we are a couple that we are focused on helping people to reach their goals and dreams, okay? By doing it in a very special way, like a family, with a group of people that have a very high standards of value. I think that your values are very important, and our main values are respect, integrity, and work ethic. So connect with us, send a message, and we would love to have a chat with you.
I
That's
love
right.
that. I love that. I don't know if you guys are still. I think you're talking, but I can't hear. I think you're good. But if you want to add another final thought, oh, I have to be closer
No,
to the
basically,
microphone.
what just
Go ahead.
hello.
Yes, we're still here.
Okay.
Still here. Sorry for that
Yes.
little interlude. Go ahead.
No, as I was just saying, yeah, I like Michael said, right? So it's a good thing that we are able to still connected. It's not like,
Yeah.
thank God technology is here, so we can still do that, right? So even if it's
Yes.
through Zoom, we can start connected, right? And like Mike said as well, if you need any kind of help or just a simple advice, you can get in touch with us.
We can speak Spanish as well, so
We do, yes.
no problem.
Awesome. And if you need an Italian interpreter, I'm here. Just in case.
Right.
I'll offer that
Right.
up.
That's right.
I want to
We have covered 3 languages already.
see teamwork. I'm telling you. I want to share Heather Linus's
Yes.
That's right.
comment. You know what? This is exactly what you guys were talking about and what we've been talking about in general. She says, "You'll never know how relevant tonight's show was for me. Thank you." And you know what? Thank you, lovely, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We cover on Anything Goes. It is a platform that covers everything from life, business, relationships, and everything in between. And we know that there are people out there that are dealing with a lot of different and a lot of similar things, right? And I'm really glad that it's helping people. And that's what it's all about, right? We're helping people, we're helping each other, and we're learning and growing
That's
and
right.
developing along the way. Michael, Maria, thank you so much. I would have loved to have you guys in the studio with me, and I'm so looking forward to down the road when we can start
Yeah.
having all the guests back, in the same spot. But you're right, with technology, we can make things happen. So thank you so much. We're looking forward to doing this again in a couple of weeks' time. Again, keep an eye out for Michael and Maria on social media. They're doing a fantastic job. Again, Maria and Joseph, Frequency 5 FM, our loyal viewers and supporters, everyone that tuned in tonight. Thanks. I saw a few folks, join in there at the end. You guys are awesome. Thank you. I want to also, my final thoughts, guys, are first of all, I want to thank you all for your love and support for not just, me and what I'm doing, but also everything that I go through, everything that I share on social media, everything that I feel online and offline is the same. And I feel that when we are transparent and we're vulnerable and we're ourselves, I feel that it is very liberating and we can get through things together, and it's a lot better that way. So I want to thank you so much for that. My final thoughts for tonight's episode, you guys, is I'll leave you with this. When I graduated from college and I started working for some very small boutique companies. And one day I saw an ad. Back then, there was no social media, there was no technology, there was no Zip Recruiter, there was none of that. But I saw an ad in the newspaper for a national marketing position for a very large corporation. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And I got that job without knowing anybody at the company. After about 2 or 3 interviews, I was ecstatic. Literally, if you think about it now, people would say, how the heck did you land that with I had a number of years, like 6-7 years of experience, but I was working for small boutique firms. And then all of a sudden I got this national marketing role at this large corporation, one of my proudest career accomplishments. And then fast forward, 30 years, and I walked away from it all just again due to some personal catalysts that, really made me look at my chapter 2, which I'm in right now. And all of a sudden I go from that and I pivot into becoming an entrepreneur and doing my shows and doing what I do. And who would have ever thought? So when anybody ever says to you that you can't do this or you can't do that, don't listen to anybody. You listen and believe in yourself, because you don't know. Take a chance, take that risk, apply for that position, make a phone call. What's the worst that's going to happen, right? They're going to say no, but take a chance. And you know why? Because the biggest chance you're taking is on yourself. And those are my final thoughts tonight, you guys. Thank you so very much. We will be back here tomorrow night, first show of the year with my daughter Julia Scalise on the Anything Goes original platform with special return guest Jermelyn Patricia Barnes. So excited. It's part 1 of a multi-part series where we're going to be talking about a woman's world and a woman's worth. You don't want to miss it. We'll see you back here tomorrow night. Guys, thank you so very much. Please stay safe out there and be healthy. We'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you. We'll see you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, guys.
you.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Thanks, Jo Maria. And there it is.